Hi everybody, welcome to a new episode of Wizards of Oz comics. Today we're going to be going through the Martian Funeral by Levin Diatschenko. This is the Martian Funeral.
You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. You'll find he is the wizard of Oz, if ever a wizard was.
All right, Levin, tell us about what we're looking at.
So this is the cover. This is one of the main kaiju monsters in the story, and he starts off dead in a coffin. That's the way he gets introduced. But he appears human size and giant, depending on the context.
So the first chapter begins in Mars, and each of these are frames from the actual film that we've extracted and then turned them into this comic. And this is the Martian Funeral bot, isn't it?
So that's actually a robot coffin.
And he's traveling to meet this character.
So this character is the first person on the guest list of the funeral. In a Martian funeral, the coffin visits the guests as opposed to the other way around. And this woman is an original Judonaut and was one of the original defenders of Earth against giant kaiju monsters. And she ran away to Mars, and she's been living in Mars for many years.
In this story, he travels to each of them and gives them a different lesson or different sort of eulogy almost.
Yeah, so the dead person will have recorded a message to each guest to record in a robot, and it also serves as a real in Destiny. But as you can see with the action that we just saw, this coffin is acted differently and also exactly revenge on the enemy of the deceased.
I love these characters, the bobbies.
Yeah,
floating police.
So they're like English police bobbies, as you can see, but as they go, they can leave their hat behind as security. They're essentially like drones or robots, probably robot cops.
And then the end escapes and leads into...
Yeah, so a robot gets in trouble for murder.
We realize that the ring around Mars is actually all made of coffins.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool image and sweet, which we ended up using as the back color, that image there.
Yeah.
And then we go into Journeyman. This is where it's sort of back on Earth now. And this is a Darwin, which is clearly a very accurate depiction of the Darwin skyline.
So this version of planet Earth and Darwin, which is obviously the future, is regularly attacked by giant kaiju monsters. For anyone who doesn't know what a kaiju is, Godzilla and King Kong are kaijus. It became a side genre of sci-fi, especially in Japan, obviously.
And there's the dojo where people go and study up here.
So yeah, this is the dojo where people get trained to defend Earth.
Turi Dojo. What's that named after?
Turi was an actual... My father was a black belt in 4 different martial arts.
Oh, really?
And when he started just training people himself, not as a representative of an official art, he called it Turi because he looked up an extinct first Australian language and found the name of a type of boomerang that was just specifically used for warfare and hunting.
What? So it's your father's invented. So it's kind of in a bit of a homage to your dad's.
Yeah, so that was like
martial arts.
Yeah, he used to talk about Turi.
And you're actually also, you've been getting into MMA in the last few years too, which personally I think is must be a bit of an inspiration behind some of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of circular because some of it's like inspired by the comic, but some of the comic is inspired day training.
But this is all the different like crafts that they do. Which is like drunken pugilism. So these guys are, I guess, get drunk and fight. Professional jelly wrestling.
Well, they're in order when
content.
they're fighting giant monsters. Sometimes it's in the ocean, so it's you know what I mean. It's
Flying jiu-jitsu,
Flying-
because they're the judo knots as well, like
Yeah.
an earth judo, which is
and like when she chokes that guy and his head expands like a balloon.
But then that's right, and then they get a phone call and they're like
So essentially,
being attacked.
yeah. So essentially, these are the defenders of Earth, and they through weird technology expand. So a cannon shoots this guy out, and it turns into a giant, so he can go and fight the kaiju.
No, yeah, Panzerhead.
Panzerhead is a mecha-kaiju. There's a lot of mecha-kaiju in this.
And we have to discover where they're coming from.
So this is also kind of a hyper-visual expression of being in a world of four. So I thought about the Russian invasion a lot. And then later on, I thought about the Israel invasion. And I kind of, instead of visualizing that as armies, the kaiju, the original Godzilla was like that too.
Yeah, it's a big, long, epic action scene that takes place here as they're fighting, destroying the city, and then this kind of creature.
So he calls out a Panzerhead and basically gets lost within the city and becomes an internal threat in the city. And there's a lot of that happening. He shrinks and has his doomsday clock dream.
And then it moves into chapter 3 where we're out in the edge of space and the judo noughts are...
So Earth, I guess, reality has a ring. And the ring started out as stopping refugees from entering, or asylum seekers from entering Earth, entering the atmosphere. And then basically the processing facilities became a ring.
Wasn't it to stop kaiju?
No,
Refugees.
the judo nuts to stop the kaiju, but they're basically border control, so they'll stop anything getting into Earth. So theoretically, they'll process asylum seekers, but obviously they'll fight off the kaiju.
And they find this funeral bot that's been carrying Kishka.
Yeah, and they don't know what it is.
And this is the asylum seeker processing center for aliens. And there's a whole sequence of all the different kinds of aliens staying there.
Yeah, all these different kind of refugees. Or it's all kind of depicted as the other.
So there's a judo knot fight. And then we also move into this character, the Vasilisa Murderenko, who's being investigated by these mecha detectives. So it turns into a kind of they end up like kind of all falling in love with her, don't they? And then
everyone who meets her kind of falls in love. So she's got some kind of otherworldly power or mystique, and the government wants to find out why. And a lot of defenders of Earth have fallen for her, and some of them died as well. So
they're trying to figure out. Yeah. We don't need to tell the whole story, but it's interesting. There's there's this dream sequence as well. This is one I like this, like in this dream.
So yeah, we got was
not a dream sequence, is it?
She wakes up in the morning. She wakes up each morning and finds a letter from her cat,
that's been written on her toe.
Yeah. She reads it with binoculars, and he basically tells her what happened during the night. He was cooking borscht last night, as you can see. And Zoran
tries to break in.
So we have these mini kaiju climbed out of the mecha-kaiju, causing trouble, and the cat turned them away, like with inventiveness. Back to this guy, waking up in hospital. So yeah, the story is quite sprawling and strange, but it all the threads come together eventually.
And this is only volume 1 of a 2-volume book, which we realized was because there was going to be
It was him. So he spent all his life fighting in the dojo and fighting kaiju. Now, because he's off sick, he's not used to sitting in silence by himself, so he's watching like disinformation podcasts and whatnot. And thoughts grow.
Like this is your level Joe Rogan homage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Alex Jones. Like
Yeah, they're kind of
these defenders are crisis actors. You know, right back at the Colosseums. You know, and the sheep just lap it all up.
So yeah, so he's got some kind of radiation sickness, contamination from the kaiju. Then the basic social atmosphere is also like putrid and toxic, you know, with disinformation. And then now he's got nothing to do because he's not a fighter anymore. So his thoughts are just like sitting there and just overwhelming him and flooding him and strangling him. And he turns the radio on to save himself, to smash his thoughts apart.
That's a similar kind of callback to your book, wasn't it, in the Meta's Objective? No, what was it in that where people would ground out their thought bidding?
Maybe.
And here's a thing of Heavengrad, bit of a thing. But yeah, that's the first volume, and the second volume will be out next year with just the conclusion, because the book is going for the entire feature film. We realized would have to be broken up into 2 books, but that's awesome. And we've got an exhibition and a book launch happening in 2 weeks' time that will be have art from this as well. So there you go. There's a little bit of a preview of Martian Funeral by Levin A.
Yeah.
Thanks, Levin.
No worries. Thank you. It looks cool.